Welcome to another episode of the English Blog, a blog of English teachers by English teachers for English teachers. We are the English Blog team. My name is PJ.
I'm Christine.
And I'm Sarah.
Welcome to Season 5, Episode 2 of the English Blog. We're talking today about homework, and we're going to answer a bunch of questions such as, should I even assign my students homework? How often should I assign homework to my students? Are there any possible alternatives to assigning homework? These and other questions are ones that we're going to address in this video. Stay tuned till the very end because we have some very exciting information to share with you guys.
Don't forget that the English Blog provides customized lesson plans, and we release weekly vlog and blog content related to ESL education. Please do send us a message on our website, www.theenglishblog.com, and we would also love to hear from you on our Facebook. Do send us a message. Let us know what kind of topics you'd like to see us cover. We'd be more than happy to hear your thoughts.
As PJ said, you can find us on Facebook at the English Blog for Teachers. We're also on LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, and of course, YouTube. So across whichever social media platform you use, please reach out to us. Our vlogs get uploaded first on Facebook and then onto YouTube. So that's where you can watch our blog content. And we post all of our blogs and blog articles on our Facebook and our LinkedIn, and of course, www.theenglishblog.com. Special thanks to 90.5 Good Vibes FM in Mindanao. Maybe you are listening right now from there. I hope so. Hello. They're an awesome radio station, and we're here at least once a week. I think they are now playing twice a week. The replays. So you can find us there, and as well, they have a digital radio station, and they're also on Facebook. So check them out, 90.5 Good Vibes FM.
The next question we have are, what are some possible alternatives to homework? So as teachers, I'd love to hear from you. Instead of giving homework, what kind of tasks do you give your students outside of the classroom to help them in their learning? I know that Sarah mentioned, for example, going out into the community and talking to other people. That's definitely an alternative to traditional homework assignments. Please do let us know what are some alternatives you give in the comments section below.
And another thing that you can do is assign your students a long-term project, maybe something that involves a lot of research, something that's very relevant, something that they feel that they can contribute to. It can maybe culminate in an eventual presentation. Maybe this is technically homework, but it is only assigned once, and it's something that students can really invest a lot of time and effort in and take ownership of. And that's what you want students to, that's how you want students to feel about the work that they're doing. Another thing that you can do is you can make students put the material to practice a lot inside the classroom rather than outside of the classroom. And I'm not sure if you guys have heard of the flipped classroom before. It's something that I've read a bit about and I've always been very intrigued by. Personally, I've never done it before, but I think I will try it in the future. So basically, in a flipped classroom, you have your students watch instructional videos and do readings at home, and then they do practice problems in class with the teacher. And I think that's a very interesting alternative to traditional homework. It literally is flipped, where instead of doing homework at home, you're doing the work in class. And I think it's worth trying. If I give it a try, I'll let you guys know how it goes.
Yeah, I came across the flipped classroom in research for this, and it really made me think. One, I think we've seen more flipped classrooms because of the pandemic, because it kind of lends itself to remote learning. You go do some software homeschooling type things. The one thing that I think about the flipped classroom that makes me wary of it because again, I don't really like homework. I'm always looking for alternatives. But I'm not sure the flipped classroom is always the right answer, because I think it um, decreases like equality in education. You all of a sudden, instead of it being equalized and everybody has access to the same information that you're giving them in the classroom, now introduce so many other factors that could interfere with or inhibit their ability to participate in your class. So I think it's a good idea for some types of school, some students, some classes, but not a blanket answer to this question. What do you think, PJ?
It's hard for me to say what alternatives are because I am very traditional when it comes to homework. But I will say this, um, because of the technological landscape that we are currently in, I I choose a lot of the times to make my classes a no device zone. So we do a lot of quiet reading, and that's also because the vast majority of my experience teaching is with teenagers, and I just know that if I assign them any kind of reading from a book, from a textbook or a novel or whatever, they are much less likely to get it done with the kind of focus and concentration that I want them to have. And it also gives me an opportunity. So I'm very concerned about literacy and how people read as a teacher. And so I want to hear them read in class a lot of the time. So I almost never assign reading for homework, which I think is something that many teachers do. I don't like to do that. I want to see how they read and how they comprehend what they're reading, and then I also like to guide them how to read, like how to, because that also gives me an opportunity to teach them how to use punctuation, when they're reading, because a lot of teachers don't talk about how punctuation conveys meaning, right? And it also teaches you how to read if you follow the punctuation. So, and I love drama, right? So if I am going to give an alternative to traditional homework, I would say, okay, get together in groups and do a skit, a scene from this book that we're reading, or you need to come up with 5 tableaus from chapter 3 as a group, and that forces them to meet, and they don't have to do anything that's heavy on the thinking side of things, but they do have to make time to meet, and it's not going to take them more than 20 minutes to do. So if I do assign them something that is an alternative to writing, uh, because as I said earlier, I love to give them writing, then it will probably be something dramatic or something artistic. Yeah.
I like to give a lot of, I guess you would say, like community based homework, like a lot of scavenger hunt type homework. So, again, if I had a beginning learner and we're covering punctuation, then I might not give them a homework as a worksheet of, put the period here, put the question mark there, but I might introduce it and say, okay, now I want you to go outside and find me 3 different street signs with find 3 punctuation marks in the wild. Take a picture or write down what it looks like and where you found it and bring it back to me. Um, I like to do things like that. Go talk to somebody or go find something. Go go find your favorite flower in this park and draw me a picture and tell me why it's your favorite flower, describe the flower. I like to do a lot of things that are doing and that really couldn't be done anywhere else but you, driven by you. You can do a worksheet in class. So I don't like to give worksheets at home. But what I want to do at home, what I kind of see the view of homework is I want it to bridge the gap between school and learning stuff and the world and using stuff. So homework to me is a stage, as a prompt, and a prompt for you to act and to use whatever you've learned in the class. Um, that is my perspective on homework. I give a lot of those types of activities. And the other thing that I should mention in this statistics, and I'm also studying like user experience design for my master's, people love choice. That is the number one predictor as to if somebody is actually gonna do whatever you're asking them to do, if they feel like they have ownership of it, if they've chosen it. So I think it's also a good idea to give choices for homework. What type of project do you want to turn in? Um, do you want to let them kind of choose what they want to do, or make it a creative project so that they really, it's their making? That's the kind of homework that I like to do and I recommend.
I agree about the choice thing. It not only applies to homework, but applies to even activities in class. You can give students options to choose from, and obviously, those options meet the objectives of the lesson of the day. And when you give the students that choice, they feel like they have more ownership of their learning. And the more ownership that they feel they have of the learning process, the more invested they are going to be. And the more they're ultimately going to learn from this whole thing.
Um, I don't think that reading I don't sorry I don't think that writing is useless. I think that it's an opportunity to think through your thoughts and to think through your feelings. And um I don't think that it's the easiest thing to give at all, because actually it's a burden for me to grade. So it's I do it because I want them to have, and of course we're all friends here so we can agree to disagree. um but I do it because I want them to, my classes are actually really active, especially for ESL. So they're on their feet a lot in my class, and they get very little writing time. Usually we're doing, I told you I like to incorporate a lot of like role plays and dramatic activities, and the things that you're saying now about going out into the community. I often make them do that during class. If it's not an online classroom, I'll have them go out and have different kinds of conversations with people. So for me, I feel like it's the only time that they really have to think about what they're learning in a quiet and mindful way. And that's why I give it to them. I don't feel like it's an easy option for me. And the easiest thing I think would be to, for me to assign a reading. But it's because I'm afraid as a teacher that if I give them a reading assignment, that they will not understand it, and it will be a case of diminished returns for them that I don't give that to them. And the same goes for listening. I'm worried that they'll walk away from the homework thinking like, well, that was a waste of my time. Whereas with writing, I feel like it can't be a waste of their time, because it gives them it's one thing if you're giving them a worksheet. You're absolutely right about that. Worksheets are super easy to grade. You can do it in 10 minutes, give them feedback right there and then in the next class, and you're done with it. But if you're talking about meaningful writing that gets to the core of a theme or a topic, then I don't think that's easy at all. And I think that actually allows them to reflect. That's why I give it, just to share.
But I do think that what we've all talked about brings up the fact that you need to adapt your homework to your students. I think that is a lot of where I've taught totally different students than PJ teaches. I usually teach adult, I have a lot of experience teaching adult immigrants who have immigrated to an English speaking country. So, do they need to read Romeo and Juliet and write an essay about it? No. Do they need to know how to make a grocery list and read the signs in the grocery store? Yeah. Do they need to know how to talk to people? Yeah. Do they have social anxiety and they want practice doing that? Yeah. And so I think you have to always evaluate your homework and fit it to support the needs and desires of your students. So yeah, it makes, homework is not one size fits all, which I think is a common trap that teachers fall into. What are the what types of homework I can give? Reading, writing, or worksheet. And it doesn't matter who I'm teaching, whether it's a kid or an adult, everybody knows what a worksheet is. But it's not true. And just like you plan your lesson, you should integrate your homework into your lesson, and just like your lesson, cater it to exactly what the student needs and exactly what will help them achieve the long-term overarching goals that they have.
I was going to say that I think that reading and writing homework is super useful, if not absolutely necessary. If they don't have any reading and writing assignments, they're not going to know how to do those things. I guess what I was trying to say is that some teachers only assign reading and writing homework, and that's not what they should do. That's the easy route. It's very convenient for them, but they should pair that with creative activities, like, for example, PJ, she assigns role plays or some forms of drama stuff. And I think that's very interesting. I personally don't have any background in that kind of field, but if you have a background in something like that, then by all means.
Our last question for this evening is, how can I involve parents in homework assignments? So I'd like to hear from all of you. Do you involve parents in the homework assignments? Or is this something that is for you, the student's sole responsibility? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below.
I think with parents, you want to set expectations from the get go. For example, how often you want to stay in touch with them, how you want to stay in touch with them, how much parental involvement you want in the student's learning process. All those things are very important to establish from the very beginning. Just like you set expectations with your students from the get go, or you should at least, like behavioral expectations, performance expectations. It just makes a whole lot of things easier throughout your relationship with them. And another important thing is to be in consistent contact with the parents, updating them about the student's progress. And you can do this via email, via text, via social media if that's allowed. But the key here is consistency. You want to remain in consistent contact with them. You can give your students assignments that involve direct interaction with their parents. Like I said before, you can have your students interview their parents, maybe pick their brains about the subject that was taught in class recently. You can have your students play a game with the parent that involves the material in some way, and then maybe have the students write a report about it or report on the experience in class. You can have an assignment that requires the student to consult with their parent. So, yeah, there are many ways to get your parents involved in homework assignments. I think the first is to set expectations from the start. Secondly, be in consistent contact with the parents, always update about how the students are doing in class, and then give assignments that do involve direct interaction with the parents, like interviews or consulting with them.
And that is one of the pros that often gets listed about homework, besides the instructional value, is that it builds habits, it makes children feel responsible for something in their life. And that is a really valid attribute of homework and an important purpose that homework fulfills for children. It cracks me up, as I have taught in Europe. I've taught children ages 11 to 19 in France and Spain, which have a much more hands-off school parenting culture than the US. And I am surprised by the number of adult private students I get that tell me, I want to learn English so I can help my children, because I help them do all their other homework, but I can't help them do English, and they're struggling in English. So I need to learn English in order to help my child. I've had so many mothers come to me, and that is our goal for their English learning, is I need to learn. My kid is at this level and I'm at this level. Can we run through the most crucial things, please? Um, so parents are definitely there helping their children. And when they don't have the foreign language ability, they can sometimes hurt their children's understanding um, by helping them with homework and adding confusion or incorrect answers. I also get lots of the calls to be a private tutor in Spain were all from parents who said, yeah, I help my kid do math, but I can't help them do English. So I need you to help my child do English. um, and so parents are always there. I think it's not good as I agree with PJ that children need to learn to be responsible for their work, for their thought, for their education too. I think education needs to be something that you do for yourself, not something that you turn in because you need the mark. Um, so yeah, I don't like it when parents get too involved and over monitor their child. And we've all seen it. They turn in something that doesn't look like a child could have done it in a million years. And that the parents helped them on the science project, and it drives you crazy, and it's not good for the learning of the student. I like Christine's idea because parents really do like to feel involved in the education of their children. They want that semblance of control, I guess. Some of them really want control, but I think sometimes if you teach kids and you've got those kind of intense parents, sometimes you've got to work on how to make them appear that they're in control while they're really not. You're in control and you're also giving control to the child. And that's where I think the activities like Christine mentioned can be good, especially if you are in a foreign language environment where you're teaching English and the interview isn't happening in English. Interview your parent and write me a summary of what they thought on this topic. And then, of course, I've also had like true translation students. That can also be a really interesting way to involve them. If you really want to do translation focus, go write a transcript about exactly what they told you, take a recording and go through it and translate. That's kind of a particular breed of homework, though, for a very particular type of student. But I like Christine's ideas of involving them in the concepts, but not involving them in the labor, I guess, is the summary. Let them know what's going on so they can rest assured that their child's getting an education and doing interesting things. But don't get them so involved that they're doing work for their child, either correctly or incorrectly.
I think I have the wrong approach. I only involve them when they don't do the homework. When I have a kid that doesn't do the homework, then I feel the need to involve the parent. So the parent, and maybe that's something that I need to look at, because then the parent only hears from me when something goes wrong, and I think that might give the parent a skewed perception of their child. And I think that one of my areas for improvement as a teacher is also to reach out when a child does well, even just a quick email saying, your kid did so great in this one assignment.
Definitely. I cannot I in Spain, I had a student in class who was kind of the teachers were all kind of saying she wasn't very good. She never paid attention. She wasn't a good student. She's never going to learn English. And then I found out that her mom is really hard on her. Her mom doesn't like getting all of this negative feedback from the teachers. Yes, PJ's crying. And she doesn't like it. And I felt so bad for this girl because I said, no wonder she's acting out or not applying herself, because these people don't believe in her. Nobody believes she can actually do it. And I happened to see, we were leaving school together, and the mother was there with a baby brother to pick this girl up from school. And I saw her and I waved to her and I said, bye, see you tomorrow. And she answered me in English. And the look on that mother's face was just sheer joy, pride. It was a wonderful moment. And then it was even better to see that moment where that girl immediately turns to look, how is my mother reacting to this interaction between me and the English assistant? My mother is so happy and beaming. This girl is happy and beaming. And then what does she do? She comes back to class the next day and she feels a little bit more confident. She feels like she can actually speak English. She did something that is so hard, which was speak English, not in English class, randomly on the street in front of her mother, which is very difficult to do. And she gained a lot of confidence. And there was a noticeable increase that week that she was really, really applying herself and really engaged in English in a way that she hadn't been before. So I think you're spot on, PJ. I think it's good for teachers to have positive interactions about their students as well, so that the parents really feel connected to the teacher. It feels like a team effort, and everybody feels like they have an accurate picture of the teacher, of the parent, and of the child.
That wraps up season 5, episode 2 of the English blog on our topic on homework. Don't forget that the English blog provides customized lesson plans and releases weekly vlog and blog content related to ESL education. Please do drop us a message at www.theenglishblog.com and be sure to subscribe to our website for exciting offers and updates.
You can follow the English blog on our website, www.theenglishblog.com, as well as across social media. We premiere our videos on Facebook, and then they are posted to our YouTube account. We're also on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Twitter. Across all of those platforms, you can access our blog and blog comment, as well as talk to us. Let us know about future topics. Tell us what you think about homework. Are you more of a PJ style traditionalist, or are you ready to never see another homework assignment again in your life? What's your favorite homework assignment to give and to grade? And any thoughts you have on this or any other English teaching topic, please drop us a line, like, follow, share, subscribe. Talk to us and help us all learn together. Special thanks to 90.5 Good Vibes FM for hosting us on the radio twice a week. You can catch this episode on Monday at 7 p.m. I guess you're probably already listening to it if you're hearing it. But we're there on the radio every Monday at 7 p.m., the same time that we premiere our videos on Facebook. So if you're able to listen to the radio, you can catch us there. Otherwise, find us on Facebook and then YouTube. Thank you so much.
We are the English blog team. I'm PJ.
I'm Christine.
And I'm Sarah.
Thanks for joining us, and we will see you next week. Have a great evening, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.